Have you ever wondered how many brilliant ideas cross your mind every day? Research reveals that the average human has approximately 6,000 to 100 thoughts daily. Among these, it is estimated that at least 5 to 10 are truly valuable ideas, capable of transforming lives, generating wealth, or solving significant problems. This means that over the course of a year, you had access to at least 1,825 high-value ideas. Where are they all now? The silent truth that few realize is that we are constantly receiving powerful inspirations, but we allow them to slip away like water through our fingers. Most of us live in a mental paradox, rich in inspiration, poor in manifestation. Wallace D. Wattles, the great master of the science of prosperity, accurately stated, "There is one thought substance from which all things are created, and which, in its original state, pervades, penetrates, and fills the interstices of the universe." This thought substance is constantly flowing through your mind, bringing you ideas that could change your reality forever. However, there's a fundamental difference between those who only receive ideas and those who manifest them. In the material world, this difference is not in the quality of the ideas received, but in the method by which they are processed, amplified, and transmitted. Consider the case of Sarah, an ordinary woman who worked as an administrative assistant. During a bus ride, she had a seemingly simple idea, an app that connected people willing to do small jobs with those who needed them. A similar idea crossed the minds of thousands of people. The difference? Sarah knew the mental transmission method. 5 years later, his simple idea turned into a business valued at $50 million. The method you are about to learn about is not a mind trick or a vague manifestation technique. It is a scientific process based on the natural laws that govern the transmission of mental energy to physical reality. A process that transforms the intangible into tangible, the invisible into visible, inspiration into materialization. How many million-dollar ideas have you had and let slip away? How many solutions to your biggest problems have passed through your mind without being captured? How many transformative opportunities have you let evaporate because you didn't know how to convey them properly? The good news is that, starting today, this will change forever. The mind transmission method you are about to learn will not only preserve your best ideas, but amplify them and channel them into material reality with a precision that will seem magical. Yet it is purely scientific. The question is not whether you receive valuable ideas. It's what you do with them when they arrive. And this is the real mystery we are about to unravel. Mind transmission is the science of transporting an idea from the realm of possibility to the realm of materiality. It is the invisible bridge that connects what could be to what actually is. This process is not taught in schools, is not discussed in conventional business circles, and is rarely mentioned even among those who study the power of the mind. The first fundamental principle we need to understand is that of receptivity. Contrary to what the ego would have us believe, we don't create ideas, we receive them. They emanate from what Wattles called the original thinking substance, a universal intelligence that permeates all existence. When you understand that you are a receiver, not a creator, something profound changes in your relationship with ideas. You begin to treat them with reverence, as messengers from a higher kingdom. The law of mental resonance is the second crucial principle. Just as a tuning fork only vibrates in response to a specific frequency, your mind attracts ideas that are in harmony with its predominant vibration. This is why two people can be exposed to the same situation, but only one receives the inspiration that transforms that situation into an opportunity. It's not coincidence, it's resonance. Every idea goes through four distinct states, just like a plant, seed, sprout, plant, and fruit. Most people try to harvest fruits from seeds, expecting instant results from newly received ideas. The mental transmission method respects the natural cycle of development of each idea, nurturing it through each stage with appropriate care. Wallace D. Wattles made a crucial distinction in his teachings. It is not enough to think anyway. Thinking the wrong way leads to failure as surely as thinking the right way leads to success. This is the heart of mental transmission. It's not just thinking about something, but thinking in a certain way, with a certain frequency, with a certain intention. There are invisible barriers that block the effective transmission of ideas. The first is premature judgment, which kills promising ideas before they can develop roots. The second is energy diffusion, when we share ideas too soon, dispersing their power. The third is mental inconstancy, the inability to maintain sustained focus in a single direction. There is a thinking power from which all things proceed, wrote Wattles, and which, in its original state, penetrates, permeates, and fills the interstices of the universe. When you align with this power, ideas flow not only with greater frequency, but with greater clarity and potency. How can you know when you're getting a truly valuable idea? Learn to recognize its signs, a feeling of inner expansion, a sudden clarity that wasn't there before, a genuine enthusiasm that arises from the center of your being, and often, a feeling that the idea has arrived rather than being constructed by you. When these signals converge, you are faced with an idea that deserves to be transmitted through the entire method. The biggest mistake we make is confusing common ideas with transmissible ideas. Not every thought deserves the investment of energy that the method requires. Part of mastery is discerning which seeds hold the potential to become leafy trees and which are just passing weeds. This discernment develops naturally as you practice the method. True mind transmission is not about forcing the world to bend to your will. It's about aligning yourself so perfectly with the nature of the idea that its manifestation becomes the path of least resistance to the universe. It is about becoming the perfect channel through which the idea can flow into material reality. The moment of inspiration is sacred. That fleeting moment when an idea touches your mind is more valuable than most realize. To master the first stage of mental transmission, recognition, and capture, you need to develop a keen sensitivity to these moments. A high-potential idea often announces itself with distinctive energy. There is a feeling of unexpected clarity, as if a mental fog has suddenly lifted. It is often accompanied by a positive emotion, enthusiasm, curiosity, or even a strange sense of calm and certainty. Your body may respond physically, a shiver down your spine, a subtle heartbeat, or a sudden deep breath. These are the signs you need to learn to recognize. The art of capturing ideas is the first pillar of effective transmission. Most people rely on memory to preserve their inspirations, but memory is a fallible system, especially for abstract content like ideas. Capture requires a reliable external system. It's no coincidence that great minds like Leonardo da Vinci, Einstein, and Edison always carried notebooks to record thoughts immediately. As for the ideal capture system, there's a debate between digital and analog methods. The truth is that the best system is the one that is always available when the idea arrives. The digital method offers sophisticated organization and searches, while the analog method provides a deeper neurological connection through the physical movement of writing. The ideal is to combine both, a notebook always on hand for immediate captures, and a digital system for later organization. The habit of mental documentation needs to be consciously cultivated. For the first 21 days, it will take a deliberate effort to stop any activity when a valuable idea emerges. Over time, this process becomes automatic, almost instinctive. You'll develop the immediate capture reflex, like a photographer who instinctively adjusts the camera when he sees a perfect scene. Timing is crucial in capturing ideas. There's a window of opportunity that, once closed, is difficult to reopen. Neuroscience research shows that ideas not registered within approximately 37 seconds of rising have an 80% chance of being lost permanently. The illusion that I'll remember this later is one of the biggest thieves of human potential. Thomas Edison kept 70 notebooks throughout his life, filled with more than 3 million words documenting his ideas. Many of his 1,093 patents began as simple notes in one of these notebooks. Steve Jobs carried a notebook for what he called fugitive ideas, thoughts that appeared and disappeared quickly. Elon Musk describes his process as thinking on paper, externalizing ideas to free the mind for new connections. A powerful method to never miss an inspiration again is the 3-register system. First, capture the idea in its rawest form, using any medium available: a napkin, a notes app, a voicemail to yourself. Second, within 24 hours, Transfer this capture to a more permanent system, refining it slightly. Third, within 72 hours, revisit this idea again, expanding it with any new insights that have emerged in the interim. This three-pronged method creates multiple opportunities for the idea to take root in your conscious mind. Recognition and capture are not just practical techniques. They are a declaration to the universe that you value the ideas you receive, that you are attentive to the messages that come through your mind. This reverence creates a virtuous cycle. The more you honor the ideas received, the more quality ideas tend to flow to you. Develop the habit of regularly asking yourself, what valuable insights did I receive today that I haven't yet captured? This simple checking practice can rescue inspirations that were about to get lost in the constant flow of consciousness. A vague idea remains eternally in the realm of potential. Clarity isn't just desirable, it's the essential fuel that propels an idea from thought to reality. The second stage of mental transmission focuses on this vital process of transforming nebulous inspirations into crystalline concepts. The 5-step clarification method offers a systematic path to precisely defining any idea. First, articulate the essence of the idea in a single sentence. Second, identify the specific problem it solves. Third, define who will directly benefit from it. Fourth, establish how you will know the idea has been successfully implemented. Fifth, identify the first concrete step towards achieving it. These 5 questions turn nebulous concepts into actionable plans. The mental expansion technique allows you to amplify the potential of a simple idea. Imagine the idea as the center of a wheel. From this center, trace rays in various directions, exploring different aspects, alternative applications, possible variations, combinations with other ideas, potential simplifications, and natural expansions. This systematic exploration often reveals that the true potential of the idea is much greater than it initially seemed. A fatal mistake that many people make is unnecessarily complicating good ideas. There is a human tendency to add elements, when the true power often lies in refined simplicity. As Leonardo da Vinci said, simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. Always ask yourself, what can I remove from this idea to make it clearer and more powerful? Which elements are truly essential and which are just accessories? Clear purpose is the heart of any communicable idea. Without a defined what for, even the most brilliant idea lacks direction. Wattles insisted that purpose must be specific and aligned with the expansion of life. Ask yourself, does this idea serve life? How does it expand the experience of living for myself and others? A nebulous purpose generates a nebulous transmission. A crystal clear purpose generates a powerful transmission. Mental impurities are the doubts, contradictions, and uncertainties that contaminate the transmission of an idea. The purification technique involves identifying and resolving every internal objection, every but that arises when you contemplate the idea. This process is not about suppressing doubts, but about facing them directly, understanding them, and consciously integrating or transcending them. Crystal clear visualization is a powerful tool for clarifying ideas. Take time to see, in your mind, the idea fully manifested in every detail. What does she look like? How does it work? How do people interact with it? What sensations does it evoke? This visualization is not a passive exercise in fantasy, but an active process of definition. What you cannot clearly visualize, you can hardly manifest clearly. Michael, a frustrated architect working on soulless corporate projects, was inspired to create workspaces that combine biophilic principles with modern functionality. Initially, it was just a vague notion. Through the clarification process, he defined precisely what that meant: workspaces with abundant natural light, integrated greenery, sustainable materials, and layouts that promoted both collaboration and deep concentration. He identified who would benefit: innovative companies that valued employee well-being and sustainability. He visualized success: environments where people felt simultaneously energized and at peace. Clarified the first step: creating a visual manifesto of this concept. This clarification transformed a vague inspiration into a defined vision that, 2 years later, became his specialized architecture studio, today with a waiting list of clients. Always remember, clarity is not a luxury of the mind. It is the fuel of manifestation. A clear idea has its own gravitational force, attracting resources, opportunities, and energies that a vague idea could never attract. Invest time in clarification, knowing that every minute dedicated to this process exponentially multiplies the chances of successful manifestation. The power of repetition is one of the most fundamental laws of the human mind. Neurobiologically, repeated thoughts create increasingly stronger neural pathways, transforming occasional ideas into dominant thought patterns. When we consciously apply this law to mental transmission, we create an unstoppable force of manifestation. There's a crucial difference between obsession and conscious impregnation. Obsession is characterized by compulsive repetitive thoughts filled with anxiety and resistance. It is a negative pattern that drains energy. Conscious impregnation, on the other hand, is the deliberate, rhythmic, and receptive visitation of an idea with a quality of appreciation and positive expectation. It is nourishing, not draining. Each idea has a natural rhythm of development, an ideal frequency of revisitation. Some ideas need to be nurtured daily, others weekly. Like a wise gardener who knows the cycle of each plant, you must tune into the natural rhythm of each idea you wish to manifest. This discernment comes with practice, but a general rule is, the more transformative the idea, the more frequent the revisiting should be in the early stages. The 7th of March 21 method offers a powerful temporal framework for ingraining an idea into the subconscious. For the first 3 days after capture, I revisit the idea 3 times a day. For the next 7 days, I revisit it once daily. For the next 3 weeks, I revisit it every 3 days. This 31-day cycle is enough to transform a fleeting inspiration into a dominant mental force. Initial enthusiasm for a new idea is like rocket fuel, powerful, but short-lived. True mental transmission requires the ability to maintain momentum long after the initial excitement has passed. To achieve this, it is essential to create revisit rituals and link them to already established daily activities, anchoring the revisiting of your ideas to existing habits like eating breakfast or taking a daily walk ensures continuity even when initial enthusiasm inevitably wanes. The spiral return technique teaches us to revisit the same idea over and over again, but always at deeper levels. With each visit, you penetrate a deeper layer, discover a new aspect, or make a previously unnoticed connection. It is not a linear and monotonous repetition, but a spiral exploration that progressively deepens. This approach keeps the process alive and evolving. Emotion is the amplifier of repetition. An emotionless repeated thought has limited power. A thought repeated with intense emotion becomes a multiplied force of manifestation. The most powerful emotions for mental transmission are anticipatory gratitude, feeling gratitude as if the idea were already manifested, and calm enthusiasm, a combination of excitement and serenity that Wattles called silent certainty. To create an effective mental soaking calendar, start by establishing 3 specific times each day to revisit your priority ideas. Preferably, choose a moment right after waking up, another in the middle of the day, and a third before bed. Use a physical or digital reminder system. In each session, don't just reread your notes, but expand them, add details, contemplate new aspects. Keep a visual record of your progress, like a gardener documenting the growth of precious plants. Repetition is not about quantity, but about rhythmic quality. A single deep, emotional, and present revisitation is worth more than 10 superficial and distracted revisits. Be fully present with the idea during these soaking moments. Make them sacred, free from interruptions and distractions. The quality of your attention directly determines the power of the transmission. The bridge between thought and reality is not built with bricks of contemplation, but with the solid stones of aligned action. The final stage of mental transmission is the translation of the imbued idea into physical movement in the material world. This is where many fail, stuck in limbo between brilliant conception and tangible manifestation. The forced action fallacy is one of the biggest pitfalls in the manifestation journey. There's a prevalent belief that manifesting ideas requires Herculean effort, sacrifice, and struggle. Wattles directly confronted this notion. You need not conquer by force what is already yours by natural right. Forced action, that which comes from fear, anxiety, or mistrust, creates resistance and blocks the natural flow of manifestation. It's like trying to force a river to flow faster by pushing the water. The paradox of effortless action is at the heart of effective broadcasting. It is the art of acting in a way that is aligned with the intrinsic nature of the idea, following the path of least resistance to its natural expression. This is not a license for passivity, but an invitation to inspire action, one that arises organically from your alignment with the idea, not from a feeling that you must force it into existence. Identifying the perfect first step is crucial. Many ideas remain unmanifested because people try to start from the middle or the end rather than the true beginning. The ideal first step is rarely grand. It is almost always simple, accessible, and immediately executable. Ask yourself, what is the smallest action I can take right now that will move this idea from the mental realm to the physical realm? This small action creates a foothold in reality, an anchor for everything that comes after. Analysis paralysis is the state in which we become so engrossed in planning, researching, and preparing that we never really get started. It's perfectionism disguised as diligence. The cure for this condition is the minimum moment technique, committing to just 5 minutes of concrete action toward your idea. These 5 minutes often break the spell of inertia and naturally generate momentum. Small, consistent actions create huge results over time. The math of this is irrefutable. A 1% improvement per day results in 37x growth at the end of a year. The minimum moment technique takes advantage of this principle, focusing not on the magnitude of the individual action, but on the consistency of small, aligned actions. Like persistent drops that eventually carve away stone, small consistent actions have impressive cumulative power. As you convey an idea to action, the universe responds with signals and synchronicities. Unexpected opportunities arise, relevant people appear in your life, resources become available. These are not accidents or coincidences, but natural responses to their transmission. Develop the sensitivity to recognize these signs and the wisdom to act when they appear. The principle of action magnetism states that one aligned action naturally attracts the next. You don't need to see the entire path to take the first step. In fact, it is impossible to see the entire path in advance. Each action reveals the next step, in an organic unfolding that could not be fully planned in advance. Trust this process of gradual revelation. Anna, an English teacher, had the idea of creating a teaching method based on cultural narratives for immigrants struggling to learn English in the U.S. His first step was not to create a complete curriculum or seek funding for a school. It was simply inviting 3 immigrants for a free trial session in your living room. This small initial action generated valuable feedback that shaped the method. One of the participants introduced her to a community center, which offered space for larger classes. A volunteer at the center connected her with a publisher interested in innovative teaching material. Each small action naturally opened the door to the next, in a chain of opportunities she could never have planned in advance. Right action is not forced. It is the natural expression of the mature idea. When you have completed the previous 3 stages, capturing, clarifying, and impregnating the action arises almost spontaneously, like water overflowing from a full glass. You don't need to push the river, you become the river. An opportunity is not something you find. It is something that forms at the intersection of internal preparation and external circumstances. The conventional definition of opportunity as a favorable circumstance is incomplete. True opportunity is an opening in the field of possibility that can only be perceived by an adequately prepared mind through effective mental transmission. Well-transmitted ideas don't find existing paths, they create paths that didn't exist before, just as water running down a mountain creates new streams. A powerful idea in motion generates its own path through reality. This is the true power of mind transmission. It not only takes advantage of existing opportunities, but creates new realities in which previously impossible opportunities naturally manifest. The principle of magnetic attraction operates silently behind the scenes of manifestation. Ideas, Transmitted with clarity, emotion and rhythm develop a magnetic field that attracts people, circumstances, and resources necessary for their materialization. It is not mysticism, but a natural law, like attracts like. The quality of your stream directly determines the quality of what is drawn into your experience. There is a crucial distinction between seeking opportunities and generating opportunities. Searching is an energy of lack, focused on what is missing. Generating is an energy of abundance, focused on what is being created. Most people spend their lives looking for opportunities out there, without realizing that true opportunities are generated from the inside out. Through proper mental transmission, receptivity is as important as transmission. Many people convey effectively, but fail to recognize opportunities when they present themselves, because they rarely appear exactly as we imagine. Develop a fluid receptivity, free from rigid expectations about how your idea should manifest itself. Some of the greatest opportunities come in disguise, initially appearing irrelevant or even like obstacles. Fear of the unknown is the biggest blocker of manifested opportunities. Paradoxically, the best opportunities often seem impossible or scary at first. This is because they invite us to expand beyond our current comfort zones, into unexplored territories of experience. Cultivate the courage to say yes to the stranger when he responds to your transmission. The virtuous cycle of mental transmission creates a compounding effect over time. Each well-transmitted idea that materializes generates new, even more powerful ideas. Each manifested opportunity creates the context for greater opportunities. By mastering this method, you not only transform specific ideas into realities, but you recalibrate your entire field of experience to a higher level of possibility. Close your eyes for a moment and visualize a complete chain of transmission, from the initial capture of a valuable idea, through its crystalline clarification, its rhythmic ingraining, to its natural expression in aligned action, culminating in the manifestation of an opportunity that transforms your reality. Feel the energy of this complete chain as a continuous current flowing through you, connecting the invisible to the visible, the potential to the actual. The mental transmission method we've just explored isn't just a technique, it's a way of life. A way of relating to the constant flow of ideas passing through your mind. Let us briefly revisit the 4 essential stages of this powerful method: recognition and capture, which honors each valuable idea by preserving it at the moment of its arrival. Clarification and amplification, which transforms nebulous inspirations into crystal clear concepts. The rhythmic repetition and impregnation, which roots the idea deep into your subconscious. And transmission to action, which moves the idea from the mental realm to the physical world through aligned actions. Right now, you are faced with a conscious choice, a fork in the path of your life. You can continue as before, allowing valuable ideas to be lost in the current of the mind, or you can decide to become a conscious transmitter, an effective conduit of inspiration for manifestation. This seemingly simple choice has the power to completely reconfigure your life experience. The invitation is to start immediately. The next idea that pops into your head is a perfect opportunity to apply what you learned today. Capture it with reverence, clarify it precisely, imbue it with rhythm. Translate it into action with confidence. Don't wait for an idea important enough to merit this method. Practicing with seemingly smaller ideas is exactly what prepares you for when big inspirations arrive. I propose a 21-day challenge for 3 weeks. Commit to applying the complete method to at least one new idea every 3 days. Use a dedicated journal to document each stage of the process. Observe not only the external results, but also the internal changes in your relationship with ideas. How does your receptivity expand? How does your clarity increase? How does your confidence in action strengthen? Visualize for a moment how your life will transform when you master this method. Ideas that were once trapped in the realm of fantasy now regularly materialize into your reality. Opportunities that seemed reserved for lucky people now come naturally your way. The distance between inspiration and manifestation progressively decreases until it almost disappears. This is not an idealistic view. It is the natural result of consistent application of the mind transmission method. As Wallace D. Wattles wrote, Thought is the only force that can produce tangible wealth from formless power. The man or woman who can think the right way, regardless of appearances, will infallibly become rich, for the law of attraction will bring that person everything he needs. What idea are you ready to convey now? What inspiration that has passed through your mind recently deserves to be captured, clarified, imbued, and conveyed into action? The time to start is now. Not tomorrow, not when circumstances are perfect, but now in the only moment that truly exists. The invitation is made. If this message resonates with you, put it into practice and share your experience. Each person who masters mind transmission not only transforms their own reality, but elevates the field of possibility for everyone around them. Your mind is not just a receiver of ideas. It is a transmitter of realities. And from now on, you have the method to make this truth the center of your life experience.